most of you don't know, but I live in a hotel. I mean, their kids are getting picked up with school buses from there. They're getting mail there. It's their home.
Spraying room spray doesn't change the fact that, like, the room smells like shit.
So with housing being such a large issue right now, most don't even have a chance of owning a single family home, so a mortgage is right out the window. They are turning to renting. But as we've seen over the past few years, it has gotten just as bad, if not worse, in certain areas, so much so that people are starting to take extended stays in hotels and legitimately just living in hotel rooms because it's cheaper. I don't really know how much worse times could get because this all seems pretty depressing. So we're going to check out some clips, see what's happening, how people are living, what they're doing to survive, some of the prices that go along with it, and showing what their reality is, because I bet some people would probably think that maybe it's a pretty decent life. You know, when you go on vacation, you have a nice hotel room, maybe it wouldn't be so bad, but there are definitely downsides. So let's just get into it.
Hey y'all, hey. So because of these housing prices are insane, the average rent in Atlanta for a 2-bedroom apartment is about $2,400 a month. That's just crazy to me. People are thinking outside of the box in terms of places where their family can live. And so a lot of people have turned to extended stay hotels and motels, with the average cost monthly being around $1,200. These places have become the new home for so many people that in March of this year, a Georgia court ruled in favor of these long-term residents of these extended stay places, in that the proprietors cannot evict them with like they're just staying at a hotel. They have to go through formal eviction processes, which can be very lengthy. I mean, their kids are getting picked up with school buses from there. They're getting mail there. It's their home.
Here we have some comments. Not only that, people are living out of storage units too, which we've seen on previous videos. A lot of college students are living out of their cars. This is all so heartbreaking. Another comment, the extended stay places will probably make rules where no one can stay more than 28 days so they don't get renters' rights. Okay, so as I'm talking, I'm just going to put up a video of what a lot of people are living like right now. But first off, $2,400 average monthly payment for an apartment in Atlanta. Now, I bet that there's a lot of nice areas in Atlanta, but at least to me, I thought it was a pretty dangerous, not great place to live. So if the average price is $2,400, a nice safe area would probably be in the 3,000s plus. So I don't really blame people when they have a tough time that they go down to legitimately half, $1,200, and start living in these long-term hotels. Now, I've never been in a long-term hotel, just a normal plain one, but with so many people living there and calling it their home, they're starting to have issues with eviction. Now, clearly, a lot of the people who are living there are because they're struggling, so if they don't really have much money, they're going to get kicked to the curb a lot easier than it would be in an apartment. But at least in Georgia, with the new ruling, I don't really know what other states are doing. It seems like some of these places could probably start rising in rent if they do have that much of an issue with eviction. The cost would start rising for other tenants to try to balance out the issues that they're having. So I don't really know what to say about that. It's a messy situation, but we've been looking at what a lot of the long-term stays are, and I believe it's around $1,200, $1,1200, but you could check out some of the comments. I can't believe that we're to the point that living in a hotel is cheaper than rent/mortgages on a house. And of course, it's not the preferred way to live, but to be honest, if you're in a densely populated city area that the only thing you could really afford is a studio apartment, that's kind of what you're getting in these hotel rooms. And most of the time it's 2 beds. There's probably certain situations where it's legitimately a better deal along with the price. $1,000 a month better than living on the streets. Hotel at about $1,200 a month, including utilities. That's a good price, with rent $1,500 plus utilities. Here we have a question for the creator. How do you save money living in a hotel? I find it very expensive. We pay $1,000 a month. Of course, it includes everything. Rents where we live cost $1,500 or more for 1 bedroom, not including anything. So there you go. In this particular situation, it's better. And there's a good amount of videos online showing how these people live. Maybe they have griddles or stovetops. Some of these places have varying size fridges. I saw even like full-size fridges as well. So you can cook in the room, kind of live the same lifestyle as just having a normal apartment, showing people how to make food in the crock pot and really living and saving as much money as they possibly can. But of course, it definitely comes with its downfalls.
The stories that you have when you basically live in a hotel is like never ending. So I get back from work and my room smells like farts. I kind of didn't notice it. Like, I was like, okay, like, whatever. Then all of a sudden, it starts smelling like sewage. And I was like, this is kind of like a problem. There's no sewage or anything backing up that I can see in the bathroom. So I called the front desk and I was like, hey, like, I think I can smell sewage in the room. And then they were like, oh, okay. So this guy comes up with this spray bottle. He's like, can I spray stuff in your room? And I was like, yeah, but like, spraying room spray doesn't change the fact that like the room smells like shit. Like, why is there shit like wafting through this room? And he just like sprayed a bunch of stuff and was like, okay, have a nice night, ma'am. And then I called the front desk. I was like, okay, like, your guy just came up and sprayed stuff. Like, that doesn't change the fact that there's sewage. And they were like, yeah, we'll change rooms. So now I'm gonna eat my pizza and then I'm gonna change rooms. But
Probably wouldn't want to eat my pizza in a sewage room, but say if you were the person in the previous clip having all of their belongings in one single room and then random issues start happening, not your fault like the sewage, you'd have to take all of that and move to another room. Would definitely be a pretty annoying thing to do, but what I've seen online is that these videos vary very heavily because one of the clips that I'm showing up right now looked a lot nicer than the first walkthrough. It was much cleaner, much better. I mean, full refrigerator. Honestly, looked like a really nice hotel room in general. So of course, wherever you live in the country, the hotels and motels could vary greatly along with prices and the quality of the rooms. Because I'm not gonna lie, this clip really didn't look too bad. Now I know she had children as well, so of course everybody's confined into a smaller place, but especially if you were single, probably wouldn't be the worst deal until you start looking at the comment section. Was it expensive? It's very expensive reply from the creator. Here we have another comment just asking how much it costs. Now, I guess she didn't want to answer at the time because she just hearted it. And then somebody else ended up replying saying that they were only paying about $50 a day. I don't know why this person replied. Definitely not the same room that we saw a walkthrough of, because yet again, there's another person who asked the question, how much are you guys paying in total living in a motel? It has to be expensive, which again, varying greatly, but the reply was over $2,000 for this room. So it turned into a, hey, maybe this is a pretty good deal. You know, it doesn't really look that bad. Full fridge, pretty nice looking room, to it probably being as much rent as I'm paying for my townhouse right now. So I don't know where they live. Maybe $2,000 is a good deal if you live in like New York City or LA area where the prices are pretty rough, but overall it doesn't seem too worth it to me, even for this higher quality room in general. But maybe people aren't living in a hotel 100% just because they can't afford an apartment or a mortgage. When you start seeing clips like this, when you get to spend $700 a week living in a motel, $2,800 a month, because no one will rent to you for $1,200. So seems like some areas apartments are really tough to get, maybe mortgages as well, and it turns into having a way more expensive rent because you're stuck in a motel and there's no other option other than being homeless. There were some comments from this video with some advice as well. Look into monthly Airbnb. You could pre-book as long as you need. It only charges you monthly. Again, I know I keep saying the same thing over and over again, but it really does depend on where you live. Even with a monthly discount for an Airbnb host could still be more expensive. Probably not as expensive though as $2,800 a month for this motel. We have another comment, some hotels will give you a discount if you pay the month in full. Another comment talking about trying Airbnb, doing long term, sometimes cheaper than rent. I know it is a completely different situation, but some people will do that overseas. You know, they go to Europe and stay there for a month and it actually ends up being cheaper on Airbnb to stay there instead of a hotel. Here's another one. You lived in a motel for $950 every 2 weeks because no one would accept your $1,200 rent. Some more comments from this video. The hotel where I am is $500 a month, which blows out of the water every other thing we've seen in any of these clips. So I don't know how truthful that is. $500 a month, even with a single bed, is a really solid deal. It's hard to rent because they want 3 or 4 times what the rent is. My rent is $2,800 and you have to show them you make 4 times that. So over 10 grand a month. And that's just become kind of the norm now. So some people are stuck, not too many other options other than living in their car. If they do have a vehicle that's large enough to do so, we've seen that more on the rise. I mean, partially related to the van life. Some of the van life stuff that I've seen is more of a vacation and just traveling because they're in a $50,000 Sprinter van, so it doesn't really look like they're falling on hard times in a very expensive vehicle, but this is a very bad situation that I don't really see getting too much better. That's all I have for this video. YouTube thinks you'll like this video popping up on screen right now, but hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, please leave a like, and I'll talk to you guys later.